So when the riot started, I was on duty, so I was on a 24-hour shift covering London. So the first call that we received, I was mobilised by the mobilising officer at Edmonton, and we was to investigate a reported fire just on the edge of Tottenham High Road. So when we arrived at the address, we was able to ascertain that it was a false alarm and no fire was apparent. So this was reported back to the mobilising officer, who then further deployed us to the main scene of operations on Tottenham High Road. Once we arrived there, then we was able to kind of really understand what was happening at the scene, but also understand the environment that we were working in that night. It was really unusual, so something that I and the crews that was with me hadn't experienced before. It was a huge civil disturbance underway, and it was an extremely hostile and violent atmosphere, and even as we were trying to go through the cordon, the fire engines were having things thrown at them, so we knew that we were about to do something quite unusual. So while on scene, it was constant firefighting and working with our colleagues in the Metropolitan Police Service, but we went from one fire to another. Once we was in the cordon, we weren't able to leave because just the sheer amount of fires that we're dealing with. Part of that was we were responding to reports from residents that there were people inside properties that were alight, so we're doing some really rapid searching to clear the premises and then change the tactic to defensive firefighting, so external firefighting. But before we could do that, we had to clear the building inside to make sure that no one was involved. I suppose on reflection on the evening, I knew that I'd done something with the teams and the firefighters that we were working with. I think we all understood that we'd been part of a really challenging incident, that is something probably a once in a lifetime experience. And when I look back on that now, I've got a lot of pride in the fact that the firefighters that we work with, they performed it amazingly. We was able to remove an injured police officer from the front line who'd received quite a large impact on his head from a piece of masonry. So we was able to withdraw the individual, provide first aid, oxygen administration, and to stabilise the individual. The LAS couldn't get to us because we were quite close to the front scene, so crews amazingly adapted a ladder, one of our short piece extension ladders, and we carried the injured police officer 500 metres down Tottenham High Road to a place of safety where he was able to get further treatment by our colleagues in the London Ambulance Service. So they was all recognised for that award through the Metropolitan Police, which is amazing. So reflecting on that evening and the subsequent nights following, I think the brigade has learned a great deal. As with any major incident, we always review how we performed and what areas we could do to improve. So our policies and procedures were updated following the lived experience of them evenings. And I think the London Fire Brigade's put a great deal of effort over the years in improving our training, our facilities, and the way we train as well. And I think that will help us as we move forward in the London Fire Brigade serving Londoners.